So let's just address the elephant in the room. This thing is huge. So this is not a light lens. This is coming in at 319 grams, which is 11.3 ounces. And that is actually heavier than this full frame 55mm lens right here. And I don't know why I'm so fascinated with it, but the fact that this comes with like an actual lens cap here is kind of fun. So for the construction of this lens, we are looking at black anodized aluminum. You can see we've got this little texture bit here. Normally this would be used for zooming on like a zoom lens or maybe adjusting your focus, but since this is just a straight up lens, there are no moving parts that I know of within this one here. It is just going to be to help kind of screw it into your mounting system. And speaking of that mounting system, it's going to be 17mm threaded on the backside here. So that's kind of the standard at the moment. You've got tons of accessories for both Android and iPhone. And then actually on our front side here, we're going to have a 72mm threaded ring here. So that's a bit unfortunate for me. Most of my filters are 67mm. And just a quick note, in case you don't already have like a collection of filters and such, I always recommend going up in size. So maybe look at like 82mm filters. They tend to cost just a little bit more money up front, but then you can always purchase yourself a set of step-up rings, and that way, whatever size that you have below the 82, you can always kind of adapt it up instead of having to buy different filters for each size. And in case anyone is interested, for the glass on the inside here, we are going to be looking at 8 elements in 6 different groups. And it does seem that there is some level of coating on some of the glass as well, likely to help prevent flaring. So that's about all for the physical features with this one here. It does feel sturdy, and the threading itself feels very good as well. So if you're curious about how I am attaching this to my Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I just did a video on this little part here, so you can check that out. This right here is how I ended up shooting the test photos for this video. So it's a nice little setup. I've got the Xiaomi photo kit, and then I've got the lens attached, and it's pretty nice. Nice and comfortable to take around like so. But that's probably enough about the physical aspect of it, and let's jump into the photos. So just a note for these photos, I always shoot in RAW plus JPEG, and for these examples what I did is I took the RAW photos, I imported them all into Lightroom, and then I didn't adjust anything, I just exported as it is, because I find that Xiaomi's software tends to be pretty heavy-handed with the noise reduction, and it ends up looking way smoother than it needs to. So for these examples here, there's not going to be as much kind of noise reduction, which I like and I think makes the image look a lot more pleasing. So yeah, like I said, there's not going to be any extra noise reduction applied to the images, and the color profile is going to be whatever the kind of Adobe Lightroom basic initial import is. But yeah, let's jump to some of these photos. There does seem to be a little bit of barrel distortion, but thankfully that's easily corrected in post. So one of the most important aspects that I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video is actually the variable aperture on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Being able to stop down means that you can actually sharpen up your image. And that was actually one of the biggest issues that I found with the Vivo X100 Pro, is that it had that large sensor, it had that shallow depth of field, but then when you combined a zoom lens with it, it just ended up being too soft to really even discern what it was focusing on. And so if you're using lenses like this with these larger sensor phones, it means it's going to be really device dependent. So I haven't tried it with iPhones. I don't use iPhone myself, but I'm willing to bet it's going to be a little less sharp. Same goes for any Android devices that have those larger 1-inch type sensors but don't have variable apertures. And so that's just something that you're really going to have to keep in mind when you're deciding to purchase lenses like these. As for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra though, I find that stopping down to f2 is basically pretty good. f1.6 and f1.8 are just a little bit too soft. If you're shooting like super low light, you might could get away with it. So yeah, if you have ample light and you're shooting with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, shoot between f2 and f4. That's how you're going to get the sharpest results. f4 is going to give you a little bit less background blur, and f2 is pretty much a sweet spot that I was able to find. And for video, this lens does hold up quite nicely as well, but I will say you're probably better off carrying around a tripod or maybe even a monopod, just something to get a little bit more stability, because after all, this lens is not stabilized whatsoever. And the more that you increase your focal length, the more that these little wiggles and bobbles are going to translate into your footage. And so yes, while the lens itself on the inside here, while it's all stabilized on the inside, it probably didn't have 2.5 times the focal length in mind. So yeah, you will notice a little bit of wiggle in the footage with the video. I do also plan on doing a bit more video testing here with this lens, also with motion cam. So hopefully that'll help me get a little bit more out of the footage as well. All of the footage in this video was just from Xiaomi's stock video, their video recording mode within the app. So yes, if you're interested in seeing this with motion cam, and then I also still need to do a video with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra in general with motion cam. If you're interested in seeing that, do be sure to click subscribe down below. Just hit 3,000 subscribers, so I'm super thankful to you guys for that. And as well, my Patreon is up again too, so it's only $1 per month and you get access to RAW files from things like my smartphone street photography videos. And basically any funding from that is going to go towards other devices for the channel, things that I can make videos on and such like that. So yeah, if you're interested, I'm going to put a link down in the description for that. And yeah, with that being said, I think this is an absolute banger of a lens. So obviously it's quite big. I don't think that portability is going to be a very good argument for this one anymore. But in terms of raw image quality, this is quite good. This might be the best lens that I've tried so far. So you can see here, compared to the Moment 2x lens, I mean, this thing, yeah, this is massive. Image quality seems pretty similar between the two. I might actually give a bit of an edge here to the Neewer, because it did seem to have a bit better control with the flaring. And it does actually have a little blue ring around the edge as well. And if you know me, I love my blues, so I'm a bit biased. But yeah, not to mention the price was actually even a lot better than the Moment one here. So I picked up this one. I had to pick it up from AliExpress because it was sold out everywhere else. I picked it up for, I think, just under 100. It was like 90 something US dollars. Delivery on the lens was super slow. I had a lot of problems with whatever their final local courier they chose. It was a pretty rough time. But either way, I got it, and that's what matters. And at the price, I think, yeah, this is a great piece. If you're okay with the weight, like I said, it is weighty. Yeah, connected to your phone, you're definitely going to feel it kind of weighing down the front there. But if image quality is the goal that you're shooting for, then that lens is going to be a great addition. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to put some edited photos here at the end of some of my favorite images that I took with the lens. And I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks again.